Hello there. Slightly sombre windswept Robert today, because if you're an iOS user like I am, you'll have encountered a problem over the past wee while. It happened to me for the first time last week when I was flying over Lough, and that is since updating to the 1.4.8 DJI Fly firmware update, the screen on the iPhone will dim after a few minutes and eventually go black where you can't see anything. Now, not only is that really annoying, but it's a safety issue. When it happened to me, I brought Lassie back in and I switched out for my iPad Pro, but the same thing happened with the iPad Pro, which leads me to believe that it's nothing to do with the iPhone auto charging or the DJI including an auto charge feature which you can't turn off now. Don't think it's anything to do with that. However, I've come out today to test it a bit more thoroughly, and I'm going to be using my iPhone 12 Pro Max. I'm also going to be using my iPhone 7S, and I have 3 different iPads here. One's an iPad Pro, one's an iPad 4, and one's an iPad 7, I believe. I'm going to connect them all up and see if the problem exists across all of the iOS devices. So anyway, let's get on with it. Now, I purposely don't have any of my devices currently charged up fully. So, let's send her up and see what happens. See how long it is before the screen dims to a point where we just can't see anything. Now, this isn't going to be a particularly scenic video because I need to keep Lassie in sight, and it's a fairly good day for doing this because it's not warm and it's 100% cloud cover at the moment, which means that the sun isn't heating up the screen, so we can pretty much rule that out as one of the causes. But I will fly a little bit down towards Dumfries House, and as soon as I see the screen starting to dim, I'm going to bring Lassie on back home. That is if it dims today. You never know. This may just have miraculously fixed itself. That would be good. And down there is the Chinese bridge, I do believe. So this has been flying now for over 3.5 minutes, and the screen's still nice and bright. I have also noticed since 1.4.8 that the connection strength doesn't seem to be as good, and I keep getting a couple of little glitches on the screen here. They don't show up in the video, but they're quite annoying when you're trying to fly. It's 5.5 minutes and we're still looking good. And there is Dumfries House. And that would be the village of Auchinleck, just over there in the distance. And there is the steam from the Barony Egger plant that Lassie courageously flew through a few weeks ago. And right beside that is the Barony A-frame, and of course that's where I am. So we're at 7.5 minutes and everything's still looking pretty good. No dimming that I can see. Now the only difference that I have today compared to when the dimming problem affected me is that I was using ND filters. Now I don't think that has anything to do with it whatsoever, but just to point out that things aren't exactly as they were when the problem occurred. Tell you what I do like about something that they've brought in recently. I don't know if it was 1.4.8 or when they did it, but as you saw the strong wind warning signal come up there, and I've mentioned this before, the controller now vibrates in your hands. You get a haptic feedback signal as well as one on your screen. I do like that. There we go, coming up in 10 minutes now. There, that is 10 minutes and no problems. So this could be a problem not with DJI but with Apple devices, that when they're in direct sunlight, if the direct sunlight is on the screen and it's hot, they will automatically dim. This happened to me a few years back when I was abroad on holiday, and I was reading a book on my phone and it just dimmed, and it was unusable. And I think that was in Tenerife. So that could very well be it. It's not a bright day today, and it's not a particularly warm day either. And there we're at 11 minutes now, right now, and it's still nice and clear. I'll fly to the full extent of this battery, or until it dims. And I do apologise if this is a bit of a boring video for you, but I felt this had to be tested out properly. And I'm really surprised. I'll have to check some of the other creators who've been monitoring this closely. If you're not aware of this, I would advise to go along and check out either or both Darren McHardy, his channel. He's doing a lot of good stuff. He does a lot of good stuff all of the time, but he's been monitoring this one fairly closely, and he's had back and forths with DJI about this. And also, if you go and have a look at Gavin HR, he's been doing the same. He's been monitoring this and trying to find possible causes and possible solutions. Also, if you'd like to go and check out We Are the Roberts, Kevin and Christy came up with a good but temporary solution of using ice pads to keep their device cool. And I think if you live in a really warm place like they do, or it's a really warm and sunny day, and you're going to get this problem because it's just one of these things that are built into iPhones, then that is certainly a great way to look at it. So I would recommend that you fly on over to those 3 YouTube channels that I've mentioned and have a look at what they've been thinking and posting about this problem recently. But there we go. That's us up to over 13 minutes now, and no dimming issue whatsoever. Excuse me. Which is good. I'm quite happy with that, and that now makes me think. I'm pretty convinced now that this is a feature of the iPhones.
Battery level is low.
Okay.
The aircraft will go to the home point in 10 seconds.
Yeah, we'll cancel that and I'll just bring her home. So there we go, flew with her until the return to home warning there, and it hasn't dimmed at all. So as I was saying there, this leads me not necessarily to conclude, but the evidence points towards it being an iOS problem. Not problem, this is a feature that they have. It's a very, very annoying feature, but I suppose it's a safety feature to protect your device, that if the sun is shining directly on it and it's very warm, it will automatically dim to protect, I don't know, the screen, the internal components, whatever. But there you go. On a day today, like it's not particularly warm. It's certainly not sunny. The sun is completely obscured by the clouds. There has been no dimming whatsoever, and that's over 14.5 minutes now. So unfortunately, on hot sunny days, it looks like if you have an iOS device, you're going to have problems with the screen dimming. I'm not sure how this is affecting the Android users. Gavin HR is an Android user, so he'll have more information on that than I have. So there we go, no real need to put the iPhone 7 or any of the iPads on. The dimming problem didn't occur. Now, all I can hope for is that either tomorrow or the next day, or very, very soon, that the sun comes out again, it becomes really, really warm, and I'll come back here to the exact same place and do that test again, and this time in direct sunlight, and we'll see what we see. But my mind is a bit more at ease now. Although it means that on a sunny day, is it possible that I wouldn't be able to come out and film with an iOS device? Who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments, what your experiences are here, particularly if you're an Android user. I'd like to hear from you as well. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.